So this is my third and probably the last time I'm going to review the POCO X4 GT, at least in the year 2022. It has been more than 3 months since I've daily driven this phone. Now that we're in November, with all the smartphones already launched for this year, is the POCO X4 GT the device that you should get for the holidays, or should you wait until next year to upgrade to a new phone? To answer the first question, it's hard not to get this phone for yourself or someone else. Because if you're looking for a gaming phone that can handle all the games in the Play Store, yes, I'm looking at you Genshin Impact, without having to spend for a flagship tier device, the X4 GT is the way to go. With this level of performance, I'm confident that this phone will last for 3 to 4 years before you start feeling it slowing down. I mean, my main phone is the iPhone 13 Pro with 120Hz Pro Motion display, and all the hardware and software magic from Apple. But the X4 GT's perceived speediness is way more noticeable. I almost always found myself opening the screen, scrolling through apps, or calling up the notification tray for no reason. It kinda became like a fidget tool to me, simply because it's just satisfyingly smooth to look at. This is a top-end tier when it comes to performance. Want to know a couple of things not found on top-end tier devices? Exceptional battery life and incredibly fast charging speed. I love taking the POCO X4 GT with me out of town without having to carry a power bank or a charger because I'm confident it's going to last an entire day and more. That's how good the battery life on the X4 GT, even when I have 144Hz all the time and auto brightness turned on. How often do you see a powerful phone hit 7 hours of screen usage with 15% left more? On average, I think this phone is capable of 1.5 days of battery life, even 2 days if most of the things you do is streaming video or music. You can go from 0 to 75% in just 30 minutes, although it's worth noting that a full charge still requires almost an hour when starting from an empty tank. Most of you are probably worried about the software longevity of POCO devices. So far, no major problems or issues here. I am running on the latest MIUI 13.0.8 global update that's based on Android 12 and with the September security patch. Time will only tell how the software will age, but when it comes to day-to-day reliability, all of my previous issues from before are now gone. Netflix picture-in-picture mode doesn't make the phone stutter anymore. Dolby Vision and Netflix now play back smoothly. I haven't seen app crashes for more than a month now, and the home screen doesn't relaunch as much as it did out of the box. Well, except for one thing. Late notifications. Unless you turn on the screen consistently, you will receive late notifications, especially the ones you seldom use or open. Speaking of things I seldom use, the cameras. The POCO X4 GT wasn't made to satisfy everyone's camera needs. The 64MP and 8MP ultra-wide cameras on the back are more than enough to capture great-looking photos, so long there's good lighting involved. The 16MP selfie camera, on the other hand, is a hit and miss even with decent lighting. I would even say that it's not the best phone to get if your priority is getting decent-looking selfie photos. However, for someone who's into videos more than photos on a mobile device, I am satisfied with the quality of the X4 GT. I shot a showcase video of a bakehouse I recently went to. Although the warehouse-like bakery was well lit in most parts, some spots of the place made the X4 GT bump up the ISO to make the subject appear bright, in exchange for a little grain in the videos. Nevertheless, it was something I didn't mind once I saw the video on a bigger screen. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. So, what else makes this phone stand out against the phone it competes with at this price point? There's a headphone jack here. The side fingerprint scanner is still more reliable than an in-display scanner. The IPS LCD may not be as punchy as AMOLED, but it's bright and colorful enough to make you forget about AMOLED. Add the fact that you don't need to worry about screen burn-in. And the Dimensity 8100 chip is probably the next best chip other than the Snapdragon 870, at least when it comes to gaming performance, battery, and thermal management. With all that said, should you even consider waiting for next year's iteration or the first wave of smartphones that usually gets announced during the first quarter? If you take a look at the trend today, it seems like the smartphone industry, at least for the affordable mid-range category of the X4 GT, is moving towards faster charging speeds or higher megapixel cameras. We are also seeing more and more devices using MediaTek chips, replacing the more expensive Snapdragon ones. But the Dimensity chips and even the refreshed Helio series have been showing their advantage over Snapdragon by delivering better performance and heat management. If you're looking for better performance in next year devices, we're probably going to see little improvements. Camera-wise, I think there will be more 108MP sensors to keep the consumers excited. However, I wouldn't rely much on the quality of these sensors as seen from the likes of the Infinix Note 12 Pro 5G. You can check my review to see how disappointing its 108MP sensor is. And if you're expecting AMOLED on the POCO X5 GT, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, at least for the next year or two. POCO has positioned this one as an affordable gaming phone, and for gamers, it's more important to have a chipset that fully takes advantage of high refresh screens. That's it for the POCO X4 GT. This is the best phone I've reviewed this year once you factor in the price of the device. I think it's the best for those looking for the best bang for the buck POCO device. It may not be as good as the POCO F4 in terms of overall features, but it truly is the best in terms of value. That's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.